Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a great night, by the way. Step 2. So like I was talking about in my previous video, right? The dynamics of looking at things from a scope of being real, right? And how we as a society needs to should and where it would be a need for looking at things from more of a real sense versus just right. So what I've found, and a lot of the people that I've dealt with over the years, right, is a lot of people, a lot of the women, right, that I've been associated with on one level, way, shape, or form. Um, they would only ask me questions that would probably rate as an interview type situation, right? And I wasn't in for some job interview. I was in there to actually get to know the person. I was actually there to actually want to formulate some kind of a possible dynamic, right? To see what the future might have in store for us. But they didn't see that. They saw it as an interview, get to know you for 5 minutes, and venture on to the next one. And it never went anywhere, right? So, I'm talking about going on the apps, right? I can't tell you how many folks I've talked to on apps. Can't tell you. I can't tell you how many people I talked to on AOL back when AOL was a thing. I can't tell you how many folks I talked with on Yahoo Chat back when that was a thing. Right? So I've been in the whole online market, if you will, right? Like I've ventured down those paths and I've seen the things that you'd want to explore, to learn, and to gain the knowledge off of it. Learning the lessons, right? So, but what I've found to be across the board accurate here, or as accurate as I can see it from my lens, right, is that going on apps and going online and doing the whole thing online is it's it's not fundamental. It's not fulfilling. It doesn't bring any kind of, like, all it does is give you a 5 minute conversation with another person, and then you venture on, right? But that's what the world has come to today. Nobody wants to actually chat on the phone, right? Nobody wants to actually get your phone number and actually talk to you like it was designed to do so many years ago, right? You pay a phone bill for a reason, to talk on the phone, not to chat on an app, right? And then, of course, all these other changes, and the whole meeting dynamic and the whole ways of being dynamic, it's all changed so much to now it's just basically a charade of itself, right? It's a joke, if you will, right? Um, because nobody wants to be real. Everybody has a bunch of options, and they all go off surface level ideas, and they all go off things that aren't necessarily true, right? Because let's face it, online. Let's just go online for a minute here, right? Online, and when you're chatting with somebody on an app, you can say anything that you want to say, and that person can't confirm or deny what is being said. Why? Because you're on an app, right? You can't even tell if a picture is authentically that person or not. You can't. Unless you do research, unless you go and search up their name and do all that, you can't tell if that's even accurate, right? But when a person is sitting in front of you, you're sitting across from a person, right? You can confirm or deny that that person is sitting in front of you because they're sitting in front of you or next to you, right? But the same token applies as well. Is how do you know whether or not that person is telling the truth, even though they're sitting right next to you? You're reading body language. Can they keep eye contact when you're chatting with them? Right? If a person is talking to you and they're doing this whole thing and so forth, and they're looking up and down and around and all that, but they're not, right? If you're talking to them and they're all doing this and whatever, right? If you're not paying attention to what the situation is in front of you, how are you going to pay attention to the tweaking that a person might go through over the years? Right? So this comes down to, how can we be more real? Right? Not just seeing the surface level, not just seeing people for what they are, but for what and who they truly are at the core. Because like I said, looks can fade. Personality and character can tweak. But if you're more of a depth kind of person, and you look at a person for who they are on the inside, not on the outside, and you look at who they are like from the broad scale lens of things, you will actually know whether or not that person is somebody that you want to be with or not. Or if they hold the capacity to be where you're at or not. Right? So, and you're seeing this everywhere. I know I am. I see it online. I see it out here. I see it out and about. Right? Because I pay attention to people. When I'm sitting there having a 1919 root beer, right? I'm paying attention to what's going on around me. I'm listening to conversations that are going on around me. I'm seeing the coming, the going, the behavior of people. Why? It's because I care about what's going on around me. I care about depth. I care about behavior. I don't care about how much money you have in the bank. I don't care about what kind of car you have at the curb. Right? I could give a shit less about that stuff. But when I'm talking with you, I want to be as real as I possibly can. Right? And you can damn well bet that everything that's coming out of my mouth is the bona fide and honest truth. Right? So we have a lot of figmented behavior out here in society. And I think that we have seriously lost track of what's truly important. Right? Because money and all that, cars and houses and all that crap, it will not bring anything fundamentally to a situation. Sure, yeah, I mean, money, wealth, all that stuff, sure, great, yeah, haha, But at the same time, too, we have to understand that a person is not defined by their wealth. A person isn't defined by what kind of house they have or what kind of car they drive or any of that crap. Once again, that's all surface level. A person is defined by how they act, how they treat people. How are they at the soul level? We'll go to step 3.